Storygram Network.
Community Center coming at you. As I said, we got a ton of summer classes. We have a really cool event coming up too on June.
The jazz.
Yeah, Cubani Jazz Project
Jazz.
is a wonderful group down in the East Bay, I believe, and it's on June 22nd here on the back patio. It's part of our summer series, a live music summer series.
Oh, so it's one of those events that we set funding to collect.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So
please help us out. I mean, the tickets are super cheap, you know.
Yeah, they're affordable.
Music.
You can come and you can bring your chairs. Unfortunately, I just checked with MC, Mary Catherine, and you cannot bring your own wine, but we will have some food here. I think we're going to have some tacos.
So we're going to have some tacos and some corn on the cob Mexican style.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
So, and we'll have drinks available, and then there's VIP experience.
Yep,
and
VIP.
This is fantastic. You'll come a little early into the secret garden, and there may even be a salsa lesson. Shout out.
Is it a salsa, like a picante salsa, or like a some dancing?
I'm down to dancing,
okay.
but this is gonna be fun for all ages, all groups. So anyway, Cubani Jazz Project, I really butchered that one, is June 22nd here.
Yes.
That's the first of our summer series, and then we'll have another one, possibly a local country situation happening in August.
Well, nice. That's nice.
Yeah. And Valley of the Moon Music. They have a festival, right? Classical music, and it's amazing. And they last year did a free concert here for the kids. So the free concert will be here for the kids. It is as well in June, and along with everything else you're going to start exploring on the Sonoma Community Center.
Wow.
You like that?
So many things.
Good thing I'm not singing in the summer series. I'm going to need some
Where's the auto-tune for us?
Hey, Gerardo. How are you?
Pretty good. Hey, you know about the subscription? How does it work?
That's a good question. So, subscription to the Sonoma Community Center podcast means really no commitment on your side. What came up, I was thinking about this a long time ago, is people typically tend to think that a subscription means that you have to pay for something, or we're capturing an email or information like that. But that's simply not the case.
So you mean I can just click it and just watch your videos and I don't have to pay any money?
And you don't have to pay any money.
Wow.
Subscribing merely means that when the next time we have an episode, it will pop up wherever you're listening to episodes, be it Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. And what that means is it really just supports us and lets us know that we have listeners out there besides just downloading the podcast. So,
and it's just not subscribing, it's also liking it, right?
Liking it, but really that subscribe button means that we know that there's listeners out there.
Perfect.
I don't know if you've had this, but I have people that come up to me and say, hey, I listened to it.
I do.
But translating that into the subscribe button means that you're supporting the Community Center podcast, the artists, and everybody that comes through here and shares their story that we are always excited to share about.
Well, you guys are listening. Subscribe, please.
Yep. Boop,
Make
boop.
our life easier, and we want to become popular, famous.
All right. Subscribe away. Hello, we are the Sonoma Community Center podcast, a place of creativity, connection, and community. We highlight the artists, teachers, and the community that come through the doors of our historic brick building, often called the heart of Sonoma. We share local tips and shout outs to our home, Sonoma Valley. And we are your host, Molly Spencer.
Gerardo Diaz.
We are the engagement team of the Sonoma Community Center.
Whoop, whoop.
Hello. This is Molly Spencer at the Sonoma Community Center.
And this is Gerardo Diaz.
Hello, Gerardo. Here we are.
Yeah, Molly, it's been a while. It feels like we haven't done one in a while.
We did do one.
I know.
With old Takeshi over here, but we put him back behind the mic.
You know what?
It was so good.
I got beef with Takashi, though. You know what he told me today? He came in the office and he's like, hey, you know what I do to make my Mexican food taste better? I'm like, well, he's going to add like a salsa or something. He's like, yeah, I have this taco seasoning that I use. What?
Let me guess.
You're killing me.
Taco Bell salsa? Soy sauce? Costco.
I know.
Oh.
It was terrible. He was laughing. I'm like, you know what?
I know.
I don't trust your taste buds anymore, man.
I think he likes to rile him up. Rile him up. Well, here it is in June, and we'll get around to food because we always do, right? We always go into that tangent because it's delicious. But we're so excited. Today we're kicking off June, and by the time you hear this, we'll be well into June. But we have a special guest here today, Gary Saperstein.
Woohoo!
If you don't know Gary, and I definitely don't know a lot of people that don't know Gary, but maybe you're just listening into the Community Center podcast, and we thank you for that. Subscribe, review, let us know you're listening so we can keep on doing this wonderful madness and interviewing all the people that come through the center in one way or another.
Fantastic.
And remember, it doesn't cost you anything to hit that button.
It doesn't cost you anything. And it doesn't mean we capture anything either. We just know that we have friends out there that listen. Somewhere out there.
Somewhere, somebody's listening somewhere.
I know. So, Gary Saperstein, you're kind of a local icon.
Oh, my God, an icon.
I know. I'm going to
Wow.
start it off now, icon. I know you are the owner and operator of Out in the Vineyard,
Yes.
which is an experimental wine tour and events company for the LGBTQ, director of development of Face to Face, which is a very important nonprofit with the mission, of course, of bringing care and prevention and testing to HIV in Sonoma County, with a huge mission of wiping it out. Which
It is. They're recognizing 40 years of trying to do that now. So.
I know. 40 years.
They started in 1983 in Guerneville and Russian River at that time when, young gay men from San Francisco left the city to literally die.
Yes.
And they went up to the Russian River area, Guerneville, and sort of settled there. And it was a group of women. Fortunately, that saw that there was a need to help these young gay men die with dignity.
It's sad what you're saying, but just dying in Guerneville, though, it's beautiful out there, though.
Yeah.
And that place is just a beautiful place.
And that peace and serenity out there in the redwoods. It's absolutely stunning. And so, it was a very sad and tragic time. But so here Face to Face is literally 40 years later, still doing the work.
I can't believe it. And it's so important that you continue that momentum up, because it's one thing to start organizations, but to continue on support, especially through care. It's still out there. It's just not gone.
And since you brought it up, I will tell you, because it's really important, because, we, especially here in more rural areas, we don't read about HIV anymore. You don't really hear about it. People aren't really talking about it, which there's pro and con about that, but it's still out there. And in fact, unfortunately, the bad news I have to report is that HIV cases are on the rise in Sonoma County. They've actually doubled since 2019, since COVID.
Oh, is that right?
So I was just going to ask you, what's the rate before when it started? How many people were, and now?
It was 19 people.
19.
In 2019, there were 19 new infection rates.
Okay.
And now that's more than doubled.
Yeah.
Since then.
Definitely have some friends living with it, and it's a constant care.
Fortunately, it's people can live a long, healthy life, but you do have to take medication every single day, and there can be complications.
Why is it that we're not hearing about this, though? Why?
Why aren't people writing about it? It's challenging. I tell you, you know what it is? It's not sexy.
Yeah.
Talking about HIV is not like talking about, and this isn't meant as a put down to anything, it's not like talking about the work that the Boys and Girls Club does, or what Luz does, the Mentoring Alliance, and all these amazing organizations that are needed. So it's so taken a back burner because for so long now, more than a decade, people aren't really talking about it anymore, and people aren't really writing about it, especially in these areas.
I do see, though, when I'm watching TV, I do see a lot of commercials, though, for medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do. There is,
I do see it more often, though. I see it more often now.
Yeah.
So,
it's great that those commercials are there because we need them to be out there. But like if you live in San Francisco, they have LGBT publications there that write about, what's going on with HIV, the latest care, the latest kind of medications that may be. It's on billboards. It's at the bus stops, poster boards. So we don't have any of that here. So it's definitely taken a back seat.
It is. I see that a lot. You see it especially in this area for Sonoma County, even Sonoma Valley, it's a real condensed place with a lot of competing local nonprofits.
Yes, that is very true.
And it makes it rough, especially if you're an established one, if it's just not like all of a sudden not the most popular conversation. You know, as you said, they always go to kind of what's the hot thing, but it's so important that it's still out there.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you so much. Face to Face is an awesome organization.
Face to Face does, they've evolved though through the years. That's made them really relevant still. And now their biggest push is actually in the work of harm reduction.
Yes.
And it's amazing what they do out of this small building in 2nd Street in Santa Rosa. And I will again give you a number because statistics.
I always have a hard time with that word too.
Hard to say that word. Statistics, say everything. They tell you the story.
I can't even pronounce
but I will tell you that last year alone, we exchanged 815,000 syringes out of the offices.
Wow.
That's people who are using for a number of reasons. Most of it are, of course, drug related.
Do you find that maybe
addiction.
the cases are through really drug using?
It's a combination.
Okay.
It is a combination. It is also, young people.
Yeah.
Because the youth of today's generation hasn't really learned about HIV. They have, but what they've learned is that, you can take a pill and you're fine.
Yeah.
And that's not
how that works.
Is that how you really want to live your life? But they didn't go through what I went through.
Do they still teach that in schools?
They do.
Not Florida.
When I was in high school, they used to teach us all about and tell us,
they actually just had a pretty comprehensive. My daughter's in a grade, 7th grade, and I was so thankful because they really did a very comprehensive of what they were going to teach. And HIV was a big part of it, as well as transmitted diseases. And there's a whole other thing they have to cover.
It can be a matter of life and death.
Yeah.
And it is about your health. I mean, thank God it's not where it was, back in the 80s and 90s.
I grew up in the 80s where it was, and this kind of probably after your generation, but I was right in high school. So you were scared. Right. You were scared. It made me have good habits for years.
As a gay man, yes, we lived in fear. I mean, I remember literally I was living in New York at the time. Mm-hmm. And I remember like every time if you saw, even if it was a black and blue mark, you thought, is that carcinoma? Or is that like, you always were like sort of checking yourself out. Or if you got sick, you would think like, oh my God. Or when you went to go get tested, and in those days when you went to go get tested, like today, you can find out in 20 minutes and get results. Those days, it wasn't 20 minutes.
No.
You had to wait. God, I can't remember. But I mean, like the week or whatever it was. So you would go take an HIV test, and you had to wait and go back.
And then I'm pretty sure back in that time, there wasn't a lot of help for HIV, or the government wasn't helping at all.
There was not. I mean, for a long time, of course, we even had at that time, Reagan was the president and he couldn't even say the word.
Yeah.
It wasn't until hundreds of thousands of young men basically died. The government started recognizing and acknowledging what was going on.
Wow.
At the beginning, nobody cared. Oh, gay men are dying.
Yeah.
I agree. I think if anyone's tuning into this and you're younger and you're unaware, where can you find? Because there's really good documentaries out there. There's really good movies, and there's really good places to tell the story.
It's a great documentary. And you can go on the Face to Face website, which is F2, the number, f2f.org. And, really there's a lot of information there. A lot of information. And if it's something you're concerned about, you can even call Face to Face. You can go in there. All the services are free. So they do HIV testing. They prescribe PrEP. There's prevention and care services. And I mean, in addition to the harm reduction program. And all the services are free.
Fantastic.
They really do. And the people who work there are so passionate. They're an amazing, amazing group of people. I've never worked with people who are so passionate about the work.
I love that. I love it. I'm glad we kicked that off right now, right off the bat, because that's such important. That's the whole point. And now, speaking of, shall I say it? I hate to say it, but sexy organizations.
Sexy.
Let's talk a little bit about Out in the Vineyard, because this is the fun part of what you're doing. Wow, you guys have been going strong. I read like 15 years.
It is this year. I didn't even realize it. I think it was LinkedIn reminded me that it was 15
They reminded
years.
me too, Gary.
I was like, what?
So how did it start? It's evolved into these kind of amazing big events.
Yeah.
And, you have Gay Wine coming up here, 2 weeks?
No, don't scare me like that. No, it's like 6
month?
weeks away. It's July 14th through the 16th.
Okay, all right, okay.
Weekend this year. Out in the Vineyard started back in, it was like 2008. And it really was, I was in the restaurant industry. I was the sort of the face of the general manager, the Girl in the Fig.
Yes.
That little restaurant here on the
We're
square.
going to go down there because you guys have restaurant.
When was it you were working there?
I opened the restaurant with Sandra and John when she moved it to Sonoma, which is what year was that? I can't remember that far back. And I was there for 10 years.
Oh, nice. I worked at the General's Daughter in the 90s.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. We love the General's Daughter.
You guys were all in my restaurant crown. I just hung out at all the restaurants.
It's so sad. It was so lively and good.
It was nice.
So community.
Yeah.
So
we love that place.
So sad now.
Well, you guys were definitely in my corner. I'd go see Matt Schwagerite down there. Then I'd go see Joe Hershaft over, all the people running the fun restaurant.
Yeah.
So.
Oh
Maddie,
I miss that guy.
I know. He's great.
Yeah.
Down in South Carolina.
Yeah. So anyway, what was I saying?
How does it start?
Was that right? We could talk about food forever.
We will. We'll go back there because we always
we'll
do.
go there. Was that at the time, what I kept on seeing throughout the years, all my years at the Girl on the Fig, was that I was seeing the growth of the LGBT community in Sonoma County. I mean, it was just, people buying second homes or retiring up here or just buying a first home up here. And at the same time, seeing the growth of LGBT tourism.
Yes.
Because they would all come into the restaurant. And I started to think, I remember having conversations with friends about, isn't it so odd that I feel like no one's talking to us up here, though? No one's advertising. No one's really trying to talk to the gay community up here. And you have, as I always say, Mecca is, an hour south of Castro, where everybody comes from all over, every gay person from all over the world makes a pilgrimage to Castro at some point in their life. And
true.
Right. And we're like, we're just an hour away. With no traffic, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And so I didn't understand.
Those were the days.
Yeah. And it was really that. It was not understanding why. And so that was the impetus to start thinking about,
let's do something.
Let's do something about that. And what if there was some gay event up here? And so at that time, we had like 3 weeks to throw a bash. It was Behringer sort of came out and said they wanted to do something. And so we came up with this idea of doing a tea dance and called it the Twilight Tea Dance. And they were like, we'll never forget this. They were like, oh, that's great. Let's do that. What's a tea dance? And so we sort of had to go back to Gay 101 and explain to them what a tea dance was. And 300 people showed up.
What's a tea dance?
Thank you.
There you go.
Good cue. A tea dance it's actually the gay community sort of cornered this title, this name called the tea dance, based sort of English tea. English tea happens at 3, 4 in the afternoon, very civilized, drinking hot tea and little sandwiches and everything like that. And somewhere in the 60s and 70s, the gay community took hold of that and started calling basically most of the time it was weekends, Saturdays and Sundays, mostly Sunday, calling it a tea dance, not TEA, just tea-dance.
Nice.
And sort of the tea was alcohol. And instead of really food, there was music, DJ, and it became huge. And it was always on the weekends, there were tea dances.
Wow.
And so we sort of took that and decided to bring that here to out in the Vineyard. So we did the Twilight Tea Dance at Behringer, and 300 people showed up.
And
so
now how many people do you usually have come to?
Now we have about 700 people attend Gay Wine Weekend. So we did the tea dance for about 3 years in a row. And then people were like, there were so many people who started saying like, oh, well, we're going to come up for the weekend. Where should we go? Where should we dine? Where should we stay? And that was the impetus then, maybe we got something here. And so started doing the 3-day weekend back in 2011, or was it 2012, one of those years. And it really just took off. And it's become national because that event even though I love locals to attend all my
Sure.
events, of course, because I love community, but the focus is to bring people to wine country and have them experience Sonoma and the lifestyle of it, and just the great food and wine,
Yeah.
and the beautiful
Were
vistas.
you over at the Visitors Bureau for a bit too?
I was.
I looked at
yes.
that. Yeah, clearly LinkedIn was a place to go to find a little dirt on you.
yes.
I had no idea.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
I knew you were everywhere, but
During my time at the Girl and the Fig,
Yeah.
I was both on the Sonoma County Tourism Bureau board for
Yeah.
a few years and Sonoma Valley Visitors Bureau board.
Okay.
And very involved. I was the president of the board for a number of years and even was the interim executive director for
that's what I saw. Yeah.
6 months, maybe it was.
Well, that
So, yeah,
seems
very
like the
involved.
boom era, really, when the Visitors Bureau grew.
Yeah,
It seems like,
was.
because I saw it go from kind of the small little thing
Yeah.
to like, okay, now we have this amazing amount of following on Instagram and just like,
yeah,
it's
we did.
big,
You
you
know,
know?
we had an amazing board.
yeah.
But more than that, we had an amazing leader, and the executive director, Wendy Peterson, at
Yeah.
that time really did an amazing job as the executive director and really helped grow the organization and its presence here in Sonoma Valley. And I think even helping put Sonoma Valley on the map more, where it wasn't just all about Napa. It helped put Sonoma Valley on the map.
Exactly. Definitely more accessible. I mean, I grew up here for a while. I'd rather do
and
Sonoma. It's more
and it's in good hands.
condensed,
It's
you know?
good hands now under Tim Zahner.
Oh, Tim's amazing.
Tim's a great guy.
So great.
A
We got to
little
have him
dull.
on.
He needs personality.
Oh, yeah,
don't
totally.
you think? Yeah.
I was like, goals in podcasting.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it was sort of like the heyday back then. We did the Olive Festival. That was
Yeah.
amazing.
How fun. Yeah. So you have been everywhere in Sonoma. All right.
I get
You've done it.
around. I get around.
You really are. It's like, where's Waldo? I saw you on Thursday night, right? And sure enough, it's been a week and a half, and you pulled together the first ever really dedication to Pride
Yeah,
Month down there. That
yeah.
was very cool.
That was
Even if it
very
was a
cool to
very little-
happen in this town.
I can't believe it hasn't happened before,
I know.
to be honest.
You know, I've been slow. I'm very slow. It's something that I've wanted to happen, and it's one of those things that, yes, being busy, it's sort of like I got about for 10 years now, the city's flown the Pride flag over City Hall.
That's
I got them to do
good.
that like 10
Yeah.
years ago. And actually with the help of Kathleen Hill.
Yeah.
And yeah, she was sort of the impetus. She actually gave me the idea.
Good, Kathleen.
And yes, kudos to her for that.
Yes.
And then the Pride banners that adorn the square for the month of June.
Yes.
That came, this is the fourth year of the Pride banners.
Melissa designed those, right?
They are my friend Matthew Long, who lives here in town, is a great graphic designer. And I said to Matt one day, we need Pride banners on the square. We need to have that happen. I don't know why, but the month of June, that would be so great to really let everybody who comes to town see that this
I
town
love
is
them.
accepting and open and about diversity.
Does it Sonoma accept gay people here as well as other little
Def-
towns?
Yeah,
think so?
I do. I will tell you, coming from New York,
Mhm.
I was very concerned when I moved here 27 years ago.
Mhm.
I was really concerned about it because I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to this small town, leaving New York, which is again, one of the epicenters of gay culture and lifestyle. And I was nervous about that. But I will tell you a little story. What happened when I first moved out here, we went to go shopping for a bed in Santa Rosa. And it was my partner at the time. And the woman, and it was, probably a 55 to 65-year-old woman who was helping us. And so we're looking at this one bed and talking about it. And she just goes, well, lie down on it, guys, like you do at home and see how it feels.
Yeah.
And I was
Okay.
like, I went, okay. I
Yes.
think we're going to be okay here.
I get a question
Yeah.
because I know the Latino community, there's gay people there, but they're more
Yeah.
conservative and they don't
Yes,
like to come out
definitely.
a lot because of what their parents would say.
Yeah. It's
How
very
do you
hard.
see that too?
Absolutely. I've been to the GSA, the Gay Straight Alliance, which is actually now called the Gender Sexual Awareness Club, not Gay Straight Alliance anymore. But the first time I went there, sitting and listening, and most of the people who raised their hand when they said, who's out to their family and everything like that, mostly of the people in the class, the Latino community did not.
Because
raise their
I
hand.
have a friend who he was gay. He told us he was gay from the get go, but he couldn't tell his dad.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
his mom knew.
challenge.
His
it's
mom
difficult.
knew. His dad died. He came out really quick.
Yeah,
It was it was
Yeah.
the saddest and happiest day of his life.
Life, yeah. Yeah. I mean, the truth is, yes, it is very difficult, I think, in the Latino community because there is that
The machismo
part to it, especially for the fathers, especially
Yes.
for the fathers.
Yes.
But, even going back to my day of when coming out, it's never easy. I mean, I think it's easier now than it was, 10 years ago,
Yeah.
20 years ago, 40, 50 years ago, of course. But there's still parts of it that, depending on your relationship with your parents, you never truly know, how are my parents really going to take this? And to say those words, because it is life-changing, because it can either go a really good way,
Yeah.
right? It can go a really good way where it's going to be accepted and you're going to breathe easy. But then once you do come out, it's just not one day, because then it's coming out to friends and more friends and, everybody. But if it's not taken well, your parents... And it happens even to this day. Some kids are kicked out of the house.
I don't believe that it's going to get easier even in the future, like to come out, just because it's almost like racism when you say, in 20 years, those people are going to die and they're not going to be, no, those people already infect other people with racism,
and that is
So-
why we still have to fight for the struggle for equality. And we still have to have Pride Month and Pride parades, because a lot of straight people at a lot of times say, like, why do you have to have a parade? Maybe we should have a straight parade. Well, you know what? When you are
That's like
being
having
bashed, when you have people who literally want to make laws to take your rights away, you can have a parade.
Yeah.
You can fight for your rights.
Yeah.
We have to
Exactly.
do that every single day. In fact, I thought of that coming to the Pride last week, and when I was writing my speech, what I was going to say, I was debating whether to keep it light or to get political. And I was like, well, there's so much going on right now. How can it not be political? How can I not say things? But you know what? At the same time, I was in my house and I literally said to myself out loud, I said, damn it, I'm 63 years old. I'm tired of this. I'm tired. I'm sorry. Can I say that? But I did. I literally said beep. There's the beep. But I said that out loud. I'm tired of this. We still have to frickin' fight.
And I think that's important for everybody, because here at the community center, which is fantastic, working with Positive Images,
Yes,
another
I love
amazing
it.
nonprofit org up in Santa
Love
Rosa.
Positive Images.
What was created was the Queer Art Club, which came out of self-expression camp, but now it's Queer Art Camp. So we're creating this space where kids can have the space to explore through radical self-expression, be exposed to all the arts, but be here. So it's not just a safe place, but I think a lot of kids too don't understand that you have to keep on going. Almost sometimes, some of them, I feel this, it's just maybe a little easier, but maybe not. I don't know. It seems...
And I'm hoping that, and I believe
And they continue,
that the youth of today, that today's generation, that they're listening.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in the news all the time now, what DeSantis is doing in Florida, Tennessee, and all the bans and all the banning books, about it. You can't talk about it in schools, like trying to erase the history, trying to erase who they were and who they are.
Yes.
So that's going to make it harder for kids to come out. That's going to be more hurtful. And there's suicide rates are going to go up because of things like that.
I mean, I feel for them. I feel really lucky, and I've seen how much it's grown here in Sonoma as well. I had a best friend in high school, and he's a lone soldier, but he changed a lot of people's minds, which was fantastic. And then just to see how it's changed in the last 10 years is wonderful. So that is here. I mean, as you said, it is a mecca. And I love that that's more inclusive in Sonoma County and just California in general.
I had a few people at the Pride flag raising ceremony last week who actually said to me, like, this is so great. I never thought I'd see this in my town. I grew up here and I never thought that I would see something like this going on.
Yes.
So that is great.
And Gary, and thank you, because you've really been a leader of that and a voice to make it comfortable for people to know this is a place where they can come to yourself.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you. I love that. And it's really important to me. It's important to keep that going. And especially now.
I have a great video of you. I know you didn't want to lead it, but when we were walking in the procession with the young man that was carrying the flag,
Diego,
and it was Diego, great artist, love that kid.
He wanted to lead the parade.
Yes,
yes, 10 years old.
Since he was little, he's a fantastic kid. But let's talk about little Gary. Where were you born? Where's little Gary from?
Little Gary, yes.
That's not an Indeed.
Born in New York.
Okay.
Born in New York. I'm a New Yorker.
Where from?
Yes.
In New York.
I grew up on Long Island.
Okay, okay.
Long Island.
Which part? Because I used to live there as well. So
Oh, did
just
you?
curious. Yeah.
Right outside the city. Valley
Okay.
Stream. I was in the Woodmere, the Five Towns, as it was known.
All right.
Back
All right.
then.
Yeah.
Then spend most of my young adult life in Manhattan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was that? I mean, what were you like as a kid?
Wanna
Were you
know-
shy
when
or were you
I
a
was shy.
chatterbox? So was I. Is
I
that
was
hard to
very-
believe?
I know everyone
It
says that about
painfully
me.
shy. And now
I was
Come on,
very
Marla.
shy.
I was.
But, for me, it was definitely the gay thing because I knew
Yeah.
I was different. I felt different. I didn't know what exactly it was. Really didn't. I just knew I felt different.
When was that?
Until 8th grade, when I fell in love with my 8th grade high school earth science teacher.
Earth
Mr.
science.
H. He was so handsome.
Oh.
But that's when, I was called when I was young. I knew it was a bad word, of course, but I didn't exactly know what it meant. I just knew it was bad. I knew that was bad. So, of course, that made me retreat. And I was very inward and very shy and didn't have a lot of friends. And it really wasn't until college that I broke out of my shell. And I think it was because I left that community where I was and went someplace else where nobody knew me. And I just was able to sort of start breaking out of my shell.
New
That's
York.
when I became more of my own person. And that to me was the most important aspect of college, more so than learning anything else. That part of college for me was me becoming me. It was that breakthrough.
I think everybody needs to experience that. When I lived in New York, I think that was a time to get away from Sonoma. I had been here since 8th grade. I'd moved and come back, but it was a place where you can reinvent yourself. Everybody needs to experience that because you really find the true essence of who you are. You don't have, what do my parents think?
Right.
What will the local blah, blah, blah think? I feel like everybody just needs to have that moment from away to go experience that, good and
exactly.
bad,
Yeah.
So yay.
And so that was really my more coming out years. Well, I didn't really come out till after college, though. A few people knew, but not my family, my parents, not until I was almost, I think it was 23, 24.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, after.
How did your parents take that?
They were wonderful. Of course, I was nervous and worried about it and thought like, oh,
Maybe
my God.
they knew and they were just waiting for you.
Oh, yeah, they did. They knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, they knew. And I think there was a part of them that was maybe hoping, well, maybe not because he hasn't told us.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was more of them waiting for me to say it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was one of the fortunate ones, no doubt about it, who I never felt anything but love from them. And
Good.
I know even at the end of their lives, I lost my parents, my mother 10 years, my father 7 or something, but I know how proud they were of me and how much I was making a difference within the gay community here in Sonoma and what I was doing. They were really, really proud of that.
Good.
Do you have any brothers or sisters?
I do. I have one brother and one sister.
Oh,
But
where
I'm the
are you
baby.
in
I'm
the
the
lineup?
baby.
Oh, you're the baby. So
Yeah.
babies always kind of get lucky, in my opinion, of the lineup. They're like, see ya. Like my youngest brother lives in Greece. It kind of get out of that like role division a little bit. So yeah,
I don't know. But yeah, I am the little baby.
The little baby get a special treatment all the time.
That's
That's
right.
what people
It's the
say, right?
Yeah.
We get
last one,
special
you know? It's
treatment.
the last one.
I'm trying to remember. I don't know. I never felt that way that I got special treatment. I don't
That's
know.
so funny.
I have to ask my brother or sister. They'll probably tell you, yes, he did.
I think there were so many. There's 4 of us, and I had all brothers, and I'm the oldest. I'm like, they got away with
I know
everything by the
I
time they
know
got
my
to that
little one
age.
can say anything to me and do anything to me, and I just look at him and go, all right, come on. Or even when he wants something, he'll ask mom, and mom is like, no. And then he turns around, he's like, Dad? And I go, sure, man.
Oh, you're a little
You're the good
softy
cop.
there. A little
Actually, you don't know
softy.
When
this.
it comes to my little one, yes.
Gerardo, this is his nature. Okay.
little
When
one,
you
huh?
came on board, we had scholarships at that time. He was like Oprah. And I'm like,
You get one. Yeah,
everyone gets. So
you
he's
get a scholarship.
You get a
exactly.
scholarship. Oh,
we
yeah.
got good cop, bad cop relationship here. Lucky.
Thank you.
We got
That's good. You
we got
need
our
that.
things.
That yin and yang thing works.
Exactly.
It works.
Oh.
I like it.
Get
I
it
like
done.
it.
So when you were there, outside of your life, you're living, was this in New York where you live in the prime 70s, 80s?
I was in New York in the 80s.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Through the
What were you
80s all the
doing
way till
for work?
94. I moved here near the end of 94.
Okay.
95 is when I moved to Sonoma.
And,
I was in the restaurant biz.
okay.
I was in I fell into the restaurant biz.
That's its own fun. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I take it as with the 80s. New York was like part of its heyday until, of course, AIDS happened. But it definitely was like an amazing time. Oh, my God. You made the money you made. And that time we didn't even have to declare it. All cash tips. You didn't have to declare the money. And oh my God, all I remember is
times.
We would go out after work, and have all this money in your pocket.
Making it right.
And we'd go out. And then all I know is I'd wake up the next morning and you'd be like, where'd all that money go that I made last night? But whatever. It was
We'll
fun.
make it again tonight.
It was right. We'll make it again tonight. We'll do it again.
What was the catalyst for you to move out to California?
My partner at the time got a job in Marin he was in a teacher.
Okay.
So special ed.
You married a special teacher from science?
No, I wish.
There's something to that because now that I look back at it, my first crush, I guess, was John Schneider from Dukes of Hazzard. Had blonde hair, right? They didn't all look like that. But Jesse had that surfer kind of, he has that vibe, right? And I'm like,
Everybody has a
Of
type.
course,
They do.
We all have our types.
But then I had Duran Duran was my other crushes, and Simon Le Bon wasn't apparently gay enough because I dumped him for Nick Rhodes, which was my favorite. So, oh man, I love it.
So that's how I ended up here. So you got a job here, and so being in the hospitality business, I can get a job anywhere, and food and wine. Hello, wine country. I mean, I did go kicking and screaming.
Yeah,
it took me about 9 months to say yes. And then it was kicking and screaming to come out here.
Definitely change the pace.
Definitely
in the 80s and 90s.
Oh my God,
yeah.
I was ready to go out for dinner. Let's go out for dinner. It's 9:00. Let's go.
Nope.
It was like, everything's closed.
Yeah. What are you doing?
You got 1 hour left at the Swiss Hotel outside.
Right. Yeah.
Tumbleweeds at 8:00 right here.
Especially back in those days, definitely it was like tumbleweeds. Definitely, no doubt about it. I remember the first time going to a movie theater here at our movie theater that we don't have anymore. But going to the movie theater there, and it was the opening of Interview with a Vampire, right?
Ooh.
Tom Cruise movie. I'm like, okay, Dan, we got to go. Let's get to
no?
Like, if you go to the movies in New York, you go, especially opening weekend, it's the lines. You go an hour beforehand. I'm like, okay, let's go. Let's get out. Let's go. We get to the theater, and I'm like,
nobody was there,
here.
huh?
And I was like, maybe we have the time wrong. And so I walked up to the box office and said, oh, it doesn't start for an hour. I'm like,
that's so funny. I think I went to the same weekend. I was like, let's go do this because I liked Anne Rice novels. And sure enough, you get there.
And
there wasn't really anybody
I'm like,
there.
oh. And then I learned you can get to the movies, like 2 minutes before the movie begins and walk right in.
Bring your burrito.
I bring my burrito all the time.
I know, me too.
So
now they're not there anymore.
So it took time getting used to. Life is a journey. And definitely that move led me down a path that I never imagined. Did I ever imagine living in a rural town here of Sonoma?
So you moved here in 95, 96?
It was 94, the end of 94,
Wow.
September.
Beautiful times. I was here too.
Yeah, it was September 94.
Beautiful time. Wow.
Yeah.
We were here at the same time.
Same path.
Did you come about that same time?
Yeah, I was here, but I was only like 10 years old.
Oh, yeah, I was a little bit older.
Yeah. I was in Flowery.
I was 15. And they laugh. This interview's over.
94. I think I was here. I don't know. It's floating everywhere. I think it might have been in Marin and Berkeley around that time.
But it's funny that, life is a journey and you go down different paths, different doors open and or close. And it's been so far an amazing
It's funny because 94 here was like a hick town here. I mean, they were just cowboys and, these cows everywhere, So, wow.
A little punk rock.
Being gay in that time here, I don't know.
Yeah, but I found the community rather quickly.
Yeah.
We found each other.
Okay.
we gravitate towards each other.
Yeah.
We're out and you give that look. I know you know that I know that you know that I know that you are. We know. Okay. Want to meet, go for drinks? So yeah, we found community.
And
like I said, like I was saying, that community just continued to grow, though. Just grew and grew and grew continually until, like I said, I had the impetus to leave the restaurant business and start this other business.
Yeah. It's huge now.
Yeah.
I love it. I really feel like you've made a mark on this town. I know you didn't do it alone, but I in the Vineyard had a lot to do with it, of bringing... I wonder how many people have moved here just like, oh, this is a really wonderful place to be after visiting.
My sponsor, Sotheby's Realty is one of my sponsors. And, and they love being a part of that weekend and being there representing Sotheby's. And they have sold homes to people, second homes to people, or first homes. Yeah. It's a good thing.
Well, it's nice. I love it. It just seems like every year it gets a little bit more... It's better. I see a lot more flags. We have some beautiful banners that are in front of the community center that went up.
I took a picture, took a selfie of me walking in here so I can promote it because it's beautiful out there.
And I love those. They're huge and beautiful, and they take up the whole building, and I think it's a wonderful thing to say that
absolutely great.
Everybody is welcome here.
And it just, exactly, that's what it shows. That's what we need. That's what we want to show, that everyone's welcome. We welcome diversity here. That's what we want in the community. We want to see the differences and celebrate the differences, and that's what's so important.
I agree, and this is a wonderful place to find that voice. And what is it? So, Gary, let's just imagine this. You actually had a little time on your hands. Like, oh my gosh, maybe I feel like crafting or doing art or painting or doing, what would you do if you had time here? Or is that not really your jam and you'd start a podcasting or communications class with Takeshi?
Well, maybe that. No, cooking.
Cooking. Okay.
Cooking.
So I'm going to just let Gerardo open up this word now. What's for lunch? What are you liking? What are you eating these days?
Oh, well, Gay Wine Weekend's coming up, so I'm trying to eat salad.
I hear ya.
And as we get closer to Gay Wine Weekend, the days before, it's literally a tic-tac.
Yeah.
I'll just have a tic-tac, thank you.
Oh, my God. You got to split that. It's a model diet.
Once in a while, I do a kiwi diet.
Oh, a kiwi diet.
Yeah,
I haven't done that one.
I eat everything except kiwi.
All right. I like you're a man after my own heart with that one.
These guys, I tell you.
Yeah. It's a battle all the time because I love food. And I have to admit, I have a sweet tooth, so I like sweets, and that's can really be a downfall for me.
Is it like a gay thing where you have to be fit all the time? To be honest, I see a lot of gay friends, and they're all fit. They're all fit. And
Don't you hate them?
I'm like, where's the
I just
fat
thought they were all
here?
young.
No,
young people.
I have a theory. And I haven't ever seen really statistics on it. Because I have thought about what is it that has made gay men, especially gay men, like the gym's really important.
Yeah.
Being really fit. And there's not that there's anything wrong with being healthy and fit. It's a good thing. But I think really, in my mind, what I really attribute that to is that because of constantly being knocked down in life, I think the gay community at some point, going back to the 70s, found the gym and found that working out and being fit and creating this and getting healthy, creating this great, beautiful body, hot, sexy body.
I love it.
Me too. That's
true.
It made you feel better and maybe gave you more stature out there, that you may put me down, you may try and fight against everything that I am.
But if I want, I can take your woman away.
But look at me. Look how good I look. I'm not saying that that's the truth, but I think that is part of it. I definitely think that's part of it. And that the gay community did find going to the gym was a good thing for their own ego and their own self-worth.
I also think it's more, definitely don't want to typecast anything, and I'm comparing apples to oranges, which is my surfer husband compared to my other friends. There's just more of an appreciation for beauty and health and taking care, just the gorgeousness of life and appreciating and the fun of life.
But the bottom line is that we come in all shapes and sizes.
Exactly.
Like everybody else.
Okay.
Yes, maybe you see that a lot out there. But the truth is, as gay men and women and bisexuals and transgender comes in
everybody
all
has
shapes
to
and
deal
sizes.
with getting older and gravity. Gravity wins.
Right. And the metabolism that just disappears.
Exactly. I got that.
All right.
So you didn't really actually answer. What flavors are you?
After gay
culinary. What would you?
Well, I mean, I really do love Mediterranean food. So falafel for lunch sometimes. I really do love falafel. So I absolutely do love that.
What's your favorite place to go?
Well, right now, spread.
Spread,
Right
got it.
That's it?
Oh,
Spread,
the
her,
best.
Christine as well. So now it's accessible. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter where, I can get it all the time here now.
Nice.
So it's great. Her falafels are some of the best I've ever had.
Her dirty fries.
And so,
Don't eat that until after.
I have not had the dirty
They're like-
fries. I have not had them. And I have to admit, for lunch though, also I really do like sometimes my cravings will be for a tuna fish sandwich.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And sometimes even I do love chicken salad, even putting that in a salad or on a sandwich. Those are some of my go-tos for lunch.
What was your meal when you're young? Is there something that comes back from your childhood that you're like, oh, comfort food?
Well, my mother was a really good cook.
Okay.
She was a great cook. And that's where I got my love for cooking and for food, was just watching my mother cook and helping her always my whole life. And the comfort food for me from growing up was probably my mother's chicken parmesan. She made her own sauce. And, and then helping her bread the chicken and dredging it,
right?
and frying it and putting the sauce and the cheese on top and melting it is definitely comfort food for me, as well as probably even just because we always celebrated all the holidays at the house. So being Jewish, we had all the Jewish holidays were at our house, and having brisket and chicken matzo ball soup and those things. I guess they're comfort food for me in the sense of they bring back memories to me.
Yeah.
They bring back so many memories and family memories of growing up and times that because I will do the holidays at my house now all the time. Literally, when I'm cooking all that kind of food, I think of my relatives and my parents and, all those people who are long gone now. But it makes me think of them. And I love that.
We're going to miss out since this month. All of a sudden, all these Italian chefs are booked. Lisa Lavaghetto's having... she's cooking like
Italian's
5 things,
favorites.
Italian favorites this weekend. So, quite a
Sign
bit of
up,
culinary
guys.
coming down the way, coming down the line. Wow. I love it. Okay. We're always doing this podcast usually before lunch, so that's why we naturally go into food. But now it's before dinner, right?
Yeah.
I actually, now talking about it, I was thinking, where am I going for dinner tonight?
I know.
What am I going to have for dinner tonight?
Tic Tac.
A Tic Tac.
A Tic Tac. Damn it.
I hope it's orange flavor.
I may have 2.
Wintergreen and
But,
orange.
with my metabolism, with 2 Tic Tacs, I'll gain weight.
Well, Gary, another thing I can't tell you, this is kind of how I met you. I've always known you, but you're such a joy to work with. You're the Master of Ceremonies of the Trashion Fashion Sonoma.
Yeah, it's so much fun. And I love doing that because I know it's supporting the work that you all do here at the community center. And so I love being a part of it in that sense. So.
Yeah. You bring it to life. And thank you for supporting me this year. It's my first time kind of talking on stage in front of, I wouldn't say that many people, just in that fashion for the community center. So I can do it. But thank you for the support because you really, I'm like, God, if Gary can do it for 3 hours, just over and over. I'm like, how do you not trip on all those, those wonderful descriptions? I have so much feedback that you really make it for what it is because of your liveliness and off the cuff things. So.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Don't go anywhere. Hey, one last thing. You got a little toe dipped in Bend, Oregon?
I do.
Yeah,
Yes.
you have a
My
place up
partner
there?
and I just built a house there.
Wow.
Right.
Are you
right?
leaving us or
No,
just,
no,
you
I know
know?
everyone says, you can't leave. You can't leave. But no. But being able to go back and forth is really nice. And even though this is going to be hysterical, even though, I've said no, I'm not getting involved in band. I'm not getting involved in band. It's already happening.
Of course. What do you got going on up there?
Well, I don't know. I may actually do a winemaker dinner in the fall. This restaurant tour friend of mine that I met asked me just last 2 weeks ago when I was up there, if you want to do a winemaker dinner, and I know somebody would really want to do it. So we started just talking about it, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. And then the funniest thing that happened is I get an Instagram message from a woman who owns this great, believe it or not, popcorn store there in Bend.
Did we not smell popcorn when we were coming up here?
I did.
Weird. I
She
know.
makes amazing different flavors of popcorn that I've never had before. And it's amazing. But anyway, she messages me because we started talking a lot, yapping back and forth in the store and everything like that. So then what does she do? Because she Instagram messaged me, I want to do something for Pride and support an organization. Can you tell me what organizations I should support? I was like, oh, that's so funny that she's reaching out to me. I've just moved there. Not moved there. I mean, I just started going there really on a regular basis the last 6 months. But I'm like, okay, I guess I'm making a mark.
Wait, is this how it starts for you? People say,
so.
And you have a little chat, you talk about something good. Next thing you know, you're throwing a whole event around it.
I love ideas. I love ideas and seeing an idea come to fruition.
Yes.
I love that. So I think so, but
good.
Yeah.
Good. Here's my idea. Next year, we're doing it again. We'll start down at the community center and raise our banners and take it on down to the city hall.
Take it on down. And I want to see, we're going to do a rainbow crosswalk across Broadway. I want to do that next year.
Yes.
So there's goals. There's things to do.
Oh, man. Gary, anything else you want to share with us besides?
Oh, my God. I think we did a lot.
We did.
Wow, no, this was great. I went down memory lane.
The only thing that I would say is once you pass your little diet thing,
Yeah.
and if you want to have some tacos, really good tacos.
Oh, here we go. This is our unofficial
really
sponsor.
Good tacos. You go to Costa Tacos.
Where's Costa Tacos?
Costa Tacos is located on Mondays by the Barking Dog, Tuesday at the Starling Bar, Wednesday Starling Bar, Thursdays off. Friday they go back to the Spring Brewery, and Saturday.
Oh, they're also at the Friday Farmers Market too.
Yeah, that's right. In the morning.
This is our unofficial should be sponsor.
So what nights are at the Starling Bar then?
Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm going to be over there tonight.
That's tonight.
After this, I'm getting some tacos.
Oh, maybe I'll go get a taco.
Yeah, they're delicious. The best tacos out there.
I wonder if they make a Tic Tac taco.
A Tic Tac taco. Tic Tac tacos at the Twilight Tea Dance.
Yeah.
Extra cilantro on that Tic Tac, please.
Say that 10 times fast.
Exactly. That was
just ask for everything except the tortilla. Don't get the carbohydrate. That's it.
Well, that's my thing. That when I do go for Mexican food these days, I do the burrito in a bowl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Except
I'm saying
low carb.
You're eating beans and rice. That's carbs too. So
true, but they're healthy ones.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Beans.
You gotta weigh out when you're doing low carb or something like that. You're all
if you really want to do it, just do it on the lettuce. Lettuce. Tacos on the lettuce.
Lettuce wraps.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, Costa's is very meaty. That's why you like it.
You know what? I love Costa. Costa's delicious. I'm thinking about the whole time I was sitting here. I was thinking, man, when are we gonna be done?
I want to get tacos.
Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up pretty soon.
We're going to get tacos.
I know we are going to get tacos, folks. And just if you are talking about tacos, am I not right that they may be here for our Cabani Jazz event on June 22nd?
Maybe, but no, we couldn't get them. They're super busy because they do other places. So we are having somebody else, but
still,
we give it a try.
It's going to be super fun. June 22nd, Cabani Jazz.
Yes, Cabani Jazz. Come and join us.
Exactly. On the back patio, community center, little part of our summer series, music,
Tacos
We'll have
and
chairs,
corn.
tacos, and
I think
salsa dancing lessons.
Ooh.
You name it. So, yeah.
There you go.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
I love what you guys do here. You just offer just such a great variety of.
We'll talk about the concept
programs.
department. Every time there's a meeting, it's like, here's another event and another class and another thing. So, you know,
Don't
we
they have
got to
a
keep it
VIP section
excited.
too for the
There
Convention
is
Jazz?
VIP tickets, and which is fantastic, and that will be out in Secret Garden. The MC is taking care of that, our development
Pizza.
director. Oh, yeah, our pizza oven. So we have a pizza oven that we built out there.
Oh, really?
That's
new?
we just actually,
Hello.
just this
you
month.
have to
So
do
we just
pizza
went
parties.
for a test run a
Yeah,
couple
we did.
weeks ago.
Oh,
Staff did.
delicious.
He made the dough, fantastically delicious, and more pizza parties and places to rent. And Gerardo, maybe you'll be doing pizza parties
and
yourself.
Pinot should be here.
We're definitely pizza, Pinot, and painting. There are coming
Someone's
up.
trying to steal the idea and take it back, but it ain't gonna work. Just saying.
Well, the secret garden behind here it's a secret.
It's a
Nobody
secret.
even knows
It's a
it's
secret
here,
garden,
you know?
Molly.
Not
Yeah.
anymore. No, people are starting to
that's a
rent it
great
out and
space
stuff,
to-
and it's a
right, to
wonderful
gather and
space.
do
Yeah,
something like that.
exactly. And then the
There's
rest of
another
us will
idea.
be
Make it
dancing on the back
Yeah,
party,
yeah, it's like-
right? Oh, believe me, I'm not the first one that has all these ideas. It's really funny, too. If you look back in the history, a lot of these ideas are on repeat. I see these old history books. We did the 70th here. So I went down the rabbit hole and I'm like, oh, yeah, we weren't the first one that did that, but it goes through flavors and always got to have something to
it's
do
great
in Sonoma.
Great to reincarnate things
Yeah.
and bring things back, you know? always.
Exactly. All right. Shall we break for tacos?
Taco
Yeah.
break.
Taco
Taco
break.
time.
Taco Tuesday.
Oh, it is Taco Tuesday.
Taco
Exactly.
Tuesday. I just thought of that.
All right.
Well, this was fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary,
you,
for
thank you.
coming and sharing.